Hello everyone, it's Miss Massey here. Today I'm going to be giving you a small tutorial on how you can use your knowledge of the color wheel in order to mix all of your own colors for your self-portraits. So what I want you to do before we get started on this is to get out a piece of paper, and all you need is some yellow, blue, and red paint. Now if you also have black and white, I encourage you to grab some of that too, and if not, that's okay. So go ahead and pause this video and go get those supplies so that you can follow along with me while we learn how to use the color wheel. So now that we have all those supplies, I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to point out to you is that on our color wheel we have three primary colors. That's yellow, blue, and red. Now these three colors on the wheel are the colors that we use to mix together in order to make our secondary colors. And what are those? Orange, purple, and green. These are our secondary colors, and they were mixed together by our primary colors that I just pointed out. So, how do we mix those colors? Notice that whenever I find a color I want to make, let's say green, all I have to do to find the colors I need to mix together to make green is look at its neighbor. So I see right next door is yellow, and right next door is blue. That means that those are the two colors I need to mix together in order to make green. Well, let's say I want to make purple. Once again, just look next door on the color wheel. I have red and I have blue, which means those two colors are what needs to mix together to make purple. And finally, let's say I want a good orange. I look next door and it's red and yellow. So right now what I want you to do is go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to try and make a small amount of orange, small amount of purple, and a small amount of green using only your blue, red, and yellow paints. Once you've completed that, I know some of you probably had a challenge of getting the exact right color that you wanted. Now notice that the yellow is a much lighter color than the red and the blue. Now because of that, we usually have to add a lot more yellow than we do red and blue when we're mixing our colors. So if I want to make a good orange color, I'll usually have to add a lot more yellow and a little bit of red, and then I'll make a good orange. Now if I want to make a good green, I usually have to add a lot of yellow, just a little bit of blue. Once again, because the yellow is a much lighter than the blue that we're mixing with. So if you have one color that overpowers the other a little bit, you always want to add more of the lighter color than the more powerful color. Now that we've worked on that, let's go ahead and talk about how we can make a brown. Now whenever we're trying to make a brown, notice how that's not already on the color wheel. We have to make it using complementary colors. What does this mean? If you look at the color wheel, every single color has one color directly across from it. Purple goes straight to yellow, red goes straight to green, and blue goes straight to orange. This means that every single color that's directly across from each other is its complementary color. So if I wanted to know how to make a brown if I had purple, the other color I would need is yellow. If I wanted to make a brown out of blue, the other color I would need is orange. And if I wanted a color out of red, I would have to mix it with green. Now, whenever you're trying to remember what is my complementary color, like I said, you can just look at the color wheel and look for what's directly across. But another thing you can remember is that every complementary color is one set of a primary color and a secondary color, but it's never the secondary color right next to it. Because remember, if I mix a little bit of red and orange, it's just going to make a more red orange. And if I mix a little bit of red with purple, it's just going to make a more red purple. It's not going to make the brown you want. And the last option of a secondary color is green, and that's going to make the brown that you want. So what I want you to do right now is pause the video, and using any one of those sets that I just mentioned, I want you to try and make a brown. And then I want you to come back and watch what we'll do next. Now that you've finished that, let's go ahead and look at how we can make all the colors that we've just made by mixing together our primaries and make them darker and lighter shades. So let's say that I just finished making a perfect green, but I want it to be a little bit darker in one section. All I have to do is come in with a little bit of black and just add a tiny bit of black on top of the green. Now look what just happened. Way too much black. So I need to be a lot lighter with how I apply my black to the green. The reason for this is because black is a super powerful color, and you don't need a lot of it in order to make a color darker. Because again, if I just keep adding way too much, it's going to turn black and it's not going to look like dark green. So just adding a little bit makes it a darker green. Now let's say I have my green, but I want it to be lighter. The other thing you can do is add a little bit of white. That was too much. Let's add a little bit less. That'll make a much, much lighter green. Now the thing with the white paint is the white is always going to be way lighter than any other color you have. So rather than trying to add a bunch of white into a really dark color like blue, you can try adding a tiny, tiny bit of blue to an already medium amount of white. And that is how you make darker and lighter colors. So what I want you to try and do is go in with your colors that you've already made. You should have green, orange, purple. You already had blue, red, and yellow out of your paint tubes. And now I want you to go in and mix your blacks and your whites with each set of those colors. So you should have a dark yellow and a light yellow. You should have a dark orange and a light orange, a dark red and a light red, dark purple, light purple, dark blue, light blue, and a dark green and a light green. You should have all of those as well as a dark brown and a light brown. If you still have that color, you can try and mix a little bit of black and a little bit of white to those as well. Once you've done that, go ahead and return. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I know a lot of you aren't going to have every single color in the color wheel at home when you're painting like we do in the classroom. So all you have to do is come back to this video and re-watch how we made every single one of these colors just using our primary colors, which is our blue, our red, and our yellow. If you have any questions about the color wheel, feel free to contact me, or you can always come back and watch this video again. But please have fun creating, and I can't wait to see all of your self-portraits. Thank you.